All right. Again, welcome everybody. We are here for the webinar, Ride the Innovation Highway, How You Can Turbocharge Project Success and Cost Control. I'd like to give you a quick introduction to Project Partners. We've been around the Oracle ecosphere for about 27 years now. We've got groupings in ERP services and technology services, but our focus here is going to be on our project execution delivery system and services, specifically around OPC. We are also newly a part of the International Technology Group, which is a conglomerate of organizations that are powerhouses when it comes to all things Oracle. Whether it's Cloud ERP to Oracle Primavera, we have the capabilities of specializing in whatever your needs may be. Now, I would like to turn it over to Tamim Kulali, who is the Vice President of Project Execution for Project Partners. Tamim, take it away.
Thank you, Megan. Good morning, good afternoon, everyone. In today's webinar, we will review some of the challenges that are being faced by the transportation industry, specifically some of the DOT agencies that we have worked with, in managing some of the more complex projects that they are tracking and managing. We will review what Oracle offers, specifically by the engineering and construction business unit. There are some interesting products out there that we want to educate everyone on. While there are several options, we will review the value of the right solution for the problem at hand is important. Identifying what products to use is key, and that's what we're going to be going over. At the end of the day, project managers, all of us who have been project managers, want to manage projects effectively to be on schedule, cost, and within the highest quality possible. So that's what we want to achieve, and we're using the right tools we can achieve. We will also review an existing transportation case study, how our client is using Oracle Primavera Cloud and is streamlining their project delivery process and reducing the overall costs. So before we move forward, we want to do a quick poll to just better understand what products you're currently using. I'll give you guys 30 seconds to kind of answer these questions. In my past, I think always Excel is the winner because everybody who doesn't have a product, they start using Excel and they manage their projects, but hopefully the answers are going to be something different from you.
Absolutely. So and if you selected other, if you could put that technology in the chat, that would be appreciated.
Okay, Megan, let me know whenever it's not completed so we can bring the poll up.
All right, looks like we've got quite a few answers at this point, so. And it's looking like Oracle Primavera P6 EPPM is the winner, with Microsoft Excel being a close second.
Perfect. We were hoping for that answer, but that's good. Good to hear that. So let's talk some of the challenges that we have faced, our clients have faced, and they have communicated those challenges to us as we have gone and implemented different solutions for them. Some of the key challenges, they have told us that they have thousands of projects. Those projects could be very small, from a preventative work project like asphalt repair to a very complex bridge construction that could be multi-year, multi-million-dollar project. Some of these projects could be days, and some of them could be years to complete with several phases. So everybody has a variety of projects that they are managing. What we hear is also owners like DOT, like yourself, are working with hundreds of vendors and contractors and facing difficulties in managing projects effectively. And the coordination between agencies, contractors, and internal staff is always complicated and complex, and not having the right product is always difficult. In addition, within your agencies, different departments are involved in approving and delivering projects. Team members like project managers, coordinators, permitting teams, engineers are always involved in lengthy approval process or review process, and the plans change daily, and that affects the overall project timeline of a project. So having a collaborative tool is key in managing projects effectively. Some of the other areas that we have heard is risks that they have and how they manage risks. Weather delays, most of the projects are outdoors. Projects are affected by weather or catastrophic events like earthquakes, flooding, fire, especially I live in California, so fire is a main factor, East Coast flooding. And this can dramatically affect the project delivery timeline. Having a tools to assist in analyzing effects of natural events and predict consequences is very important. So predictive analytics tools, every project manager should have in hand to identify. These events happen and can affect either worker lives or millions of dollars are at risk. So having a robust tool to mitigate these is important, and most of our clients lack tools like this. Also, getting permits are hard to get, time consuming, and not planning them correctly is important, and it affects the overall project schedule. So having a tool that you can document or predefine the types of permits that you need for certain types of projects is important. So building templates and having a place to manage different types of permits in advance of a project approval is key. Any delay could lead to overall project and a surprise to everyone, including the management team. And lastly, some of the other areas that we have heard clients and customers of ours complain is appropriation and funding. These processes are lengthy. Federal and state funds are involved, and these affect how projects are approved. So identifying critical projects, ranking those projects, prioritizing those projects is key, but having a system to do that is also important. So having a solution to have a portfolio of your projects and ranking those projects is key. And most of our customers lack that because they're either using Excel or some other tools out there. And lastly, one of the other areas that we have heard our customers complain about not having better control is cost control. The ability for the PMs to manage the overall funding, to the budget, to the funding, commitments and actuals is important. ERP systems are used in most organizations, but they are always in silos and they are not integrated to their project management system. So project managers always are a few months or days late in getting the right information on the actual cost of their projects. So having a tool that can do earned value, CPI, SPI, and to track key project KPIs is important. So bottom line, these are the major challenges that if an organization can overcome, they can actually manage the project a lot better than not having any of these tools. Let's move on to a quick next poll, and I promise this would be the last one. Please tell us some of your challenges that your organization is currently facing. I will give you guys 30 seconds to kind of respond. This is only a few questions.
And again, if one of the challenges you're facing is not in this list, feel free to add it to the chat. Give it about 10 more seconds as these answers are continuing to come in. All right. So it looks like we've got almost half of you find that funding uncertainties and tight budget constraints are your number one challenge. And then after that, we've got about a third facing many stakeholders and interdependencies as one of their biggest challenges.
Thanks, Megan. And I think these are the topics that we will discuss and see how OPC can facilitate. Let me go to the next slide here. So let's just talk about some of the challenges that any organization faces. Agencies like yours, as we discussed, manage simple to complex projects. Some of these project schedules have 100 activities, which are simple, to thousands and thousands of activities with multiple phases in a work breakdown structure. So managing it is important, and having a single environment to manage all of this is also critical. Project managers not having a robust tools in facing these challenges with different types of projects. It could be asphalt repair, as we discussed, or building a bridge. So the variety of projects is also the complexity that it brings in. So having different templates already predefined in your system can facilitate fast tracking of building a new project. A single platform which can be accessed from anywhere, so collaboration between teams is essential. In the past, most organizations use desktop applications in managing their schedules, which everybody had a schedule of a project, but having a cloud solution that everybody has the same information visible to them is important, so they can view the same schedule. It's also important to have a single platform to build interdependencies. And this was one of your concerns that you just brought up, is building a relationships between projects, not within a project, but between different projects. So there could be multiple road projects, but one road project delay could affect the other road project. So building an interdependency between projects and creating programs or portfolios to manage them in a better fashion, because delay in one will affect the other one. Another important aspect is planning a project and defining your critical path or the longest path within a project. So most organizations don't have proper training for their planners and project managers, and it's not a simple concept to kind of grasp, but having a trained staff that can understand how to build a proper schedule is also key, and teaching them how best effectively build it. And that comes back to creating templates with proper relationships that you can use to fast track this process. The ability to gather updates from job sites is another important aspect. Having a mobile solutions that are offered by Oracle, your team can proactively update activity or task updates on time in real time. So the project managers and planners in-house can review them and adjust the overall schedule depending on how fast and how changes are happening in your projects. So getting a mobile solution, cloud solution, is key to having a real-time access to the right information. Contractor schedule review and comparison is also another important. So when we have kind of met organizations, they have a lot of contractors, and each contractor has their own schedule, and either they give the schedule to the agencies and then they have to import it. So we have to overall make this whole process simple. So when interviewing our clients, they tell us that they want the ability to review contractor schedule. So you need a product that you could seamlessly bring in a Microsoft project or a P6 schedule into your environment, so you can compare the contractor schedule to your overall project plan and identify issues ahead of time. Project partners, when we sit down with our customers, we recommend that partners of ours request contractors to actually use the single PM tool that they're using. So contractors and the agencies are all using the same product, working on the same schedule, updating the same data, so they are not kind of having two different schedules. And we also recommend to a lot of our clients to put it in the RFP process that the contractor should use the agency's product to update. Now, you could ask the contractors to just be a participant in updating, which is the license models are different. So it's simpler for contractors to actually get into your system, update the appropriate sets of activities. The benefit is for you as an owner is that you're getting real information from the contractors, so you don't have to sit down in a long meetings and review that. Managing project schedules in a single repository, that should be the goal. And that's what we preach to our customers, to allow easy collaboration. This keeps everything in one place. But if there is need for keeping contractors' schedule a little bit separate, or you want to hide certain aspects of your schedule from the contractors, there is possibilities within the product and the solutions that you want to deploy to keep those separate. So you are encouraging your contractors to use the single repository, but also keeping some data hidden away so that not everything is visible to them. At the end, you want to have a conflict-free schedule and identify and flag issues and resolve issues to avoid claims or delays. This is an important feature of the product that you as an agency should review and see how you can use this to the best for yourself in managing contractor schedule and having your contractors use a single tool. Resource management is another area that when we sit down with our customers, they have issues and how to best manage resources. So one of the biggest challenges in large agencies is to correctly plan both for internal resources and external resources. Resources are spread over different sites, districts, and you have a lot of vendors and contractors. So having a system that would house all of that information into one single environment is key in streamlining the overall process. Organizations need a robust resource management system that can be used to define both labor and non-labor resources. Defining skill sets and other critical data points should be documented ahead of time to streamline the process. So when a project manager is ready to assign a contractor or an engineer to a project, they're able to do that quickly and based on some criteria, so they can not just randomly pick somebody and assign it to their project. So having a proper dictionary within your system is key. Being able to plan long lead resources like backhoes, renting one is hard. Custom fabrication of beams is not that simple. A couple of years ago, people were waiting years for some of the materials to be fabricated. Those things need to be planned ahead of time. So best practice every organization should follow is have the proper resources identified in your schedule and assign those resources to your schedule with a proper lead times so that you can plan it correctly. Any delays in obtaining material should be tracked and documented. And if it's a risk to your project, then you need to use the risks module and identify it as a project risk and take mitigation steps going forward. Ability to level resources is also, I think, one of the concerns that you had. A lot of organizations, first, they don't resource load their schedules. Secondly, once they do resource load their schedules, they don't know how to level those resources. So having an effective training program that teaches your planners to effectively use and assign resources, and then to use that information to level your projects and see where the bottlenecks are is key in having an accurate picture of the success of your project. Risk management is another area that most organizations lack. Most organizations don't do a good job in managing quantitative or qualitative risks, and they don't even have risk register to track basic risk on their projects. We have met a lot of our customers that they are managing risks in Excel or SharePoint, and they are not linked to the schedule, and everybody is wondering what are the risks to my project. So having a risk management on your project is key, or your organization in general. It's imperative to create a robust risk register at minimum, quantify the risks and potentially avoid risks or reduce the negative effect of those risks to a degree possible. Not all risks could be eliminated. It can be reduced, and also it could be turned into a positive if you work on it correctly. Every organization should have a tool to track and score risks. If possible, agencies should have risk office. If you don't have it, please try to create a team that is focused on risks, that can work with project managers, contractors, and buyers to analyze potential risks and how to avoid those risks. And we will dive into the risks a little bit more in the few other slides that we have. Cost control is another area that project managers either have visibility to it, but it's late after stuff happens to their project, or there's a gap in understanding how costs should be managed. So cost control in construction project is very important in managing and tracking it. It's not simple, it's complicated. And since different financial systems like SAP or JD Edwards or a Fusion ERP or Oracle ERP is used to manage those financial information, and most of those systems are not integrated to your project management system, so there's a gap of information flowing to PMs. Effective cost control involve proper planning, tracking, and taking corrective actions based on change orders, change requests, things like that, to avoid overruns on your project. And that is very important. And to achieve success on your project, you need to establish a budget. You need to have a tool to identify the budget. So you need the tool first, then you need to establish a budget, plan resources correctly, and cost load those resources so you could get proper labor, material, and subcontractor costs identified ahead of time. Track and monitor the costs. So you have to have a tool to do all of that. Perform earned value management. It's not a simple concept. It's a complicated process, but having a team to understand how earned value, CPI, SPI is managed on project is a discipline by itself, but you need to hone on it. But you do need to have a tool that will help you achieve the end result. So having a product like Oracle Primavera Cloud will assist you in achieving the end goal. Change management, corrective actions that you need to take, all of that is bundled within this overall cost management or cost control process. Usually, as we all know, there's delays in actual costs. Invoices are submitted by contractors late. By the time it hits the report, it's 30 days or 90 days late. So having a tight integrated solution to your project management tool is important so that you would see the information right away. See your SPI and CPI or earned value analysis are much more accurate going forward. This will help project managers be a little bit more aligned to the not just a schedule, but also to the cost portion of your project. It's also. Okay, I'm going to kind of change directions a little bit and kind of talk about OPC and a little bit more focused discussion on OPC. Before I talk about OPC, I want to just in general talk about the Oracle Smart Construction Platform. It's an integrated platform that delivers a unified ecosystem for managing products that are focused in the construction industry itself. So if you see some of these boxes, you have a P6 identified, Unifier identified there, Aconex, Textura, Oracle Primavera Cloud. All of these products are catered for construction industry, for project managers to manage their projects effectively from the inception to the closeout. Our focus today is on one product that we will be talking about, but I encourage you all to look at other products that Oracle Construction Business Unit has under the Smart Construction Platform that will help you manage projects effectively. Let's dive into Oracle Primavera Cloud. It's a product that was built from ground up on the cloud, so there is no old technology involved. That's the beauty of it. Access to the product is completely on the cloud. Getting access of your by your contractors or your team members is simple. It's a mobile interactive. You could have iPad, iPhone interaction. So, and it's scalable and flexible. A lot of organizations, either who have used MS Project or use P6 CPPM, either MS Project was too easy and fragmented, and P6 CPPM was a bit too complicated in their mind. Oracle Primavera Cloud comes into the middle that makes the functionality of P6 CPPM simple, so everybody can use it, and brings in rigid controls for clients that are using MS Project. It gives them a more control of how projects should be managed and controlled. So architects, project managers, designers, contractors, anybody that is on the team can work together on a single platform in updating their projects from project inception to the overall to the closeout. So I encourage you to see demonstrations of Oracle Primavera Cloud from either us or Oracle teams that you are already connected with, so they can give you more insight on it. Okay, some of new features and functions that have been added to the Oracle Primavera Cloud product is the concept of task management. Task management is a new concept in my since I've used P6 CPPM for the past 15, 20 years. This concept was foreign. Yeah, in P6 there was steps, and MS Project there's other ways of handling it, but task management and critical path management are two essentially different components, but work collaboratively together to deliver a complete picture. They serve different purposes but complement each other. Task management involves management of individual tasks to ensure they are completed effectively by contractors and team members. Oracle Primavera Cloud has made it simple for end users to update their work instead of looking at critical path schedule, which could be very complicated with a lot of lines running on the schedule. If there are thousands of lines, it's very hard for them to manage. This gives them focused activities that they have to do work on and update them and provide updates back to the team. This concept adds focus on day-to-day activity management, status updates, and progress tracking. All of these features are also available on mobile devices, so contractors on site, they can quickly look at the list of activity tasks that they're doing that day, and they can quickly mark them. And if it's a paint job or if it's an asphalt repair or whatever it is, you give them 5 or 6 tasks and tell them to complete these, and then they will update it and provide feedback. This feature is brand new to the Primavera world, and it's a huge benefit as a partner that has been using Primavera for many years. We love this feature, and we think that as Oracle keeps adding new features and functions to the product, it will actually get enhanced and become much more powerful over time. Schedule and resource syncage is always difficult for a lot of organizations. When you have an integrated schedule and resources, there could be 9% reduction in resource and material costs if you have a fully resource loaded schedule, because you're using the right resources at the appropriate point in time, and you're controlling the efficiency of how resources are used at what point in time. It improves resource allocation and management, balances resource utilization, avoids resource conflicts, so you know which resources are supposed to work on which activities and at what point in time, and also prevents delays due to resource shortages that you may be facing. Critical resources are always shortage. Even when we do implementations of our solutions, we have some key resources that are always 100% busy. So we have to allocate those resources appropriately on our projects when we are doing implementations. The same thing happens in the construction industry. You have to identify the right resources and use them at the right time. It increases project accuracy because if resources are shifting, your schedule will shift. So having a completed picture is important. Your task duration will be affected. Constraints are affected on your projects. So you kind of adjusting constraints that you may have. And also you can do what if modeling. OPC provides you the capability of doing unlimited what if modeling to see if we finish this project earlier, what is the effect of that to the overall program? And if we kind of delay this set of program, what is the effect of that to the overall kind of 2025 portfolio of projects that we have? So there's huge benefit on using Oracle Primavera Cloud's features in this aspect. Portfolio planning, like this chart that you see, is out of the box. Anybody who has done portfolio management in their previous life using other products, this identifies projects in a way that it's simple to kind of digest and also share with management. For example, you could do your portfolio planning, identify the key projects, score those projects correctly, rank those projects correctly, so that when the project approval process is happening within the organization, you can quickly go to your management and say, out of the thousands of projects that we have for 2025, 2026, let's do the top 100 projects. And this is the benefit that it brings in. It allows you to do scenario planning, what if analysis, adjusting portfolios, shifting things back and forth. It will give you that capability, multiple scenarios, doing resource adjustments. If resources are delayed or contractors are not onboarded, what is the effect of that to the overall plan? So you could quickly analyze all of that information in a single platform quickly and analyze it and kind of take action items. Heat maps can be defined, forecast reports out of the box. Most of the products that a PM needs is available out of the box within the tool itself. Some of the other enhancements that is beautiful for us as partners, because in the past when we did implementations of solutions, we spent X amount of our budget in creating custom reports or things outside of the key PM product. Oracle Primavera provides all of that out of the box. It has dashboards embedded within the tool, so you don't have to be a programmer to build those. Reports are there already out of the box, but you can always configure and adjust them. And on top of all of that, there's Oracle CIC, which is an analytical capability that enhances decision-making and managing your projects. It's a cloud-based advanced analytics product that sits on top of OPC that can reduce the overall claims by 16% if you're using predictive analytics. These are advanced topics, but things that if you start using the product correctly, down the line you can benefit by these features and functions. And this will be a good return on investment of using a product that can reduce the overall cost of your project. I think as we are moving forward, everybody is hearing about AI and machine learning. The integration of AI within the Oracle product line is important. And as new features are added, these are going to be offered and you could use as an end user and get the benefit of it. The schedule and risk analysis synchronization. If you have a tight linkage between your schedule and resources, you can reduce the overall time of building a schedule by 23%. So can you imagine if you have thousands of projects, you have a template there, you have a chatbot that is offered, you use that to build your schedule quickly. Those are beautiful things to have in your back pocket in building your project schedules quickly. So but there needs to be a homework done ahead of time, but building it is easy. Risks can be generated based on analytical tools, based on schedule slippage or resource slippage, and that can generate a risk based on how your projects are moving forward. Building a detailed tasks so that the contractors update all of these features and functions can enable you to better control your schedule and resources that are working on your project. Monte Carlo, I think most of you in the past might have used Risk, PertMaster, other products out there that did risks. Oracle Primavera Cloud brings in the most comprehensive product out there for Monte Carlo analysis embedded within the product itself. So you don't have to go and buy a separate product and then do a bolt-on to the project management or schedule management system. So Monte Carlo analysis is a powerful technique in using if used in your project management practice to avoid risks and simulate different options that you may identify on your projects. It could be based on a single project, or it could be based on set of programs that you may have. So this is very important to have part of your toolkit as project managers, and also the risk team within your organization, and how to reduce schedule slippage. Schedule reliability can go up, inform decision making by your team, identify floats on your project, and have contingency plans going forward. So this is a feature that everybody should look at as a huge benefit in identifying risks that you may face on your project. Last slide. I know we have gone over time, so I will just talk about our case study. We have masked the name of our client. This agency managed over thousands of projects per year. They use legacy tools, which are discontinued, and also Excel. They were inefficient, fragmented project management tools, outdated. So they needed a tool which is cloud-based that would streamline the overall process. They did have resources that were scattered all over the state, 25 districts. They were not resource loaded in their old product that they had. So these were some of the challenges that they faced. A lot of projects, inefficient, fragmented, and not resource loaded. After the implementation of OPC, Oracle Primavera Cloud, they had a 20% reduction in schedule conflicts because all of their projects were in the same environment. Everybody saw the same data. Any adjustments to the schedule got affected and relate to the other project that they had. Timeline improvements on large projects over 10 million, 5 million. Any improvement in the schedule on those projects is a lot of dollars that there's savings. So they benefited by using a robust project management tool. They increased transparency because everybody saw the same information. Project managers, contractors, everybody saw this same schedules. They were working towards the end goal. And they avoided extra costs by saving material costs. They saved over 2 million in labor costs by using a robust resource management tool like OPC. So at the end, I just wanted to convey that anybody who doesn't have a product like OPC should look at having a product that is cloud-based so that everybody can collaborate and you can have a proper schedule, resource loaded, and have a better transparency of your projects. I think this is, okay, I said last slide, but this would be the last slide. Some of the other implementations that we have done, this is as a, just for your information, some of large implementations of Unifier, P6, OPC that we have done in the past 2 to 3 years are listed here. And I will stop here and open for questions.
Yep, absolutely. Thank you, Tamim. So if you could please go ahead and ask your questions in the questions tab. I know we have a couple of questions that have come in already, so we'll get started with those. So first off, does OPC provide an API for integration with other systems?
Yes, so OPC is a cloud-based product. Oracle has provided all of the APIs as a public APIs that anybody who wants to build interfaces to Oracle Primavera Cloud is able to do it. Going forward, you could use OIC and other middleware products to build integration to your ERP system. So yes, it does provide.
Awesome. And then is there a limit on the number or size of projects that can be managed within OPC?
We have not encountered that in talking to the Oracle development team. There's unlimited number of projects or the size of projects. We have actually did a test drive of our client that had, I think, 10,000 or 15,000 activity schedules in P6. We brought it into OPC, and the performance was as reliable as P6 on-prem. So we don't see any. But if there are any challenges, we will get back to you on that question.
Okay. One of our attendees says, we have challenges with our current tool, having contractors or external vendors use our scheduling tool to update schedules. Can OPC accommodate that?
So this was a good question that I also asked the Oracle team many a year ago. Regarding how a contractor should interact with a single platform. So they do have different license models that you can give to your contractors that they can go and update certain areas of your schedule. So if you don't want to give them full access to your product, you could give siloed access through a mobile interface so they can update their activities or tasks appropriately. So you have full control of how contractors are interacting with your schedule.
Okay. Another question around importing schedules into OPC. So what types of schedules or file types of schedules can you import into OPC?
So that's a good question, and I don't think I have full answer for it. But the two of them that I know on top of my head is MS Project. You can import, and P6 schedules, XCRs or XMLs you can bring over. I will double check with our technical team different formats that might be available, and we will put those as responses to the team after this call.
Okay. I believe we answered part of this question, but can third-party software like TouchPlan be linked to OPC? And can OPC be linked to a portfolio reporting tool such as Power BI?
The answer is yes. APIs are fully available, so you can either call the APIs directly or get an output from Oracle Primavera Cloud and consume that. So the quick answer is yes, that is available, but we just have to do some work to get it going.
Okay, and that includes reporting tools such as Power BI?
Correct.
Okay. Then one other question that I saw come in, with OPC's out-of-the-box dashboards and reports, how easy is it to create and customize reports? So outside of exporting into a Power BI, how easily can you do reporting straight out of OPC?
So OPC, if you look at the dashboards, I don't have a screenshot of the dashboard right now, but it's almost like a drag and drop. If you're kind of good at kind of web design, things like that, you grab a box, you bring it over, and you create a table like Excel, pivot tables and things like that. It's as simple as that. There is no programming involved in creating dashboards. And you can create some fancy dashboard that we can maybe send you some screenshots. I don't know who asked this question. And the second question was creating new reports. So it uses BI Publisher as an engine. And so it has a lot of reports out of the box. The BI engine is also drag and drop. You can, I don't know if folks who have used the old Primavera, Btrieve, and things like that, you can drag different columns and add to your report and create brand new reports. So it's almost like drag and drop. But if you want to be a little bit more fancy, then you would have your team to actually write a special SQL query, things like that. But it's very simple. Our team our functional team is actually building reports for most of our customers and not the technical team. In the past, we used technical resources to build reports, but now we use our functional teams to actually build reports.
Okay. And now a P6 question. So can you get an interface between P6 and Smartsheet?
P6 and Smartsheet. There is no interface between P6 and Smartsheet, but you can do an output from P6 into a format, Excel format that Smartsheet can consume, but there is no out-of-the-box integration with Smartsheet and P6.
Okay. Let me double check, but I do believe that was all of the questions we have. So as we're finishing up, again, if anybody has any additional questions, we are happy to answer them. You can feel free to either reach out directly to Tamim or myself, and we'll be happy to answer all of the questions that you have. In the meantime, have a fabulous day, and we'll talk again soon.
Thank you.